Come to Remora TC to trade like a shark and not get eaten by one. Let's school together to protect and grow our money. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Let's see, the last video I did was on the 21st of March. It's the 25th now. Let's review Microsoft, GDX, Exxon Mobil, and Bitcoin. We've got Microsoft here, you can see that. This is the 1-year chart. You can also see pretty easily. Let me switch to the 5-year here. 5-year, it's been up 275%. 1 year, it's been up 50%. So let's see if the momentum will continue in the positive direction. Switching to the daily chart, you can see my annotations from 4 days ago on the 21st. The key thing here is you can see the arrows. On the 21st was the the top of this green arrow, the green candle, and I annotated that likely it would come up, price would come up, hit this zone of resistance up here, which is this long-term trend line. I'm going to zoom out to show you how far back I've annotated it. Let me go to the weekly real quick down here. Okay, so here's the weekly chart. I've drawn this a ways back, okay? I'm not going to, let's see, yeah, it's a long way back. So it's back in the 2000s, early 2000s, okay? And I forecasted that this would be a zone of resistance. And on the 21st, I said, hey, price will likely come up here. This would be resistance. I'll just annotate it here real quick. And that lower prices to come. And sure enough, you can see that happen. So I'm going to move this blue candle so you can see that price got rejected up here. And then subsequent days, including today, has moved down further. So the question is, I'm going to remove this now. What is the remaining price action? Okay, so let's remove this real quick, and then let's get a read on it. Actually, let me clean this up a little bit because these are now out of the no longer significant. So remove this, remove this. Is this gap still significant? It's not. I'm going to remove it. It shouldn't come into play anymore. Let's make this clean. And then redraw our lines. All-time highs is now moved up here. Okay. Move that up here. That's fine. Key point is how the RSI looks. Let's take a look real quick. Save this. Yeah, when you're using TradingView like I am and you're making annotations, just be sure that you click this and click save. Okay, otherwise all your work will get lost, and that's what happened to me recently. Okay, so you can see here this bearish divergence is still in play, even though you have the all-time highs up here. Okay, so if you focus down here on the RSI, downwardly sloping, whereas the price action up above is upward. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more, just on the price action, and connect a few more lines here. Okay, you can see down here, let's see here. You can see here, all these touches along this trend line here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend it. So let's extend this to like about there. Okay, so you can see how I've made that line of support. I'm going to put an alarm here, schedule an alarm to inform me when price breaks down below it. So once per bar close, and it's I want it to be crossing down. Okay, crossing down the trend line once per bar close, create. Okay, so that alarm will send me an email and a text message to let me know that price has been broken, that trend line has been broken. Okay, So which trend line am I talking about? It's this one here. So right now it's support. Okay, this would be support, but when price breaks under it, it will be likely be resistance. So I'm going to annotate the what I'm thinking it will do. So my hope, because we're at all-time highs with a lot of divergence, is that further low prices are coming down. And you have the 200-day down here. Okay, here's the 200-day moving average right here. Let's annotate this in blue. Okay, so I think price will come down there. I wish someone had told me, but the last video I uploaded, I think there was an issue where we couldn't see the prices in the video, so I apologize. The the price values were not easily seen. So right now you can see I'm thinking lower prices, perhaps even down to 380, the 370 zone, or wherever it hits this 200-day. Okay, so that's over the next couple of weeks because I don't think it'll bust through here, up here. You have to get above this zone of red up here. I don't think it'll do that. Okay, that's Microsoft. Save. Next ticker, GDX. Okay, GDX from the past year, you can see there's a downward move, yeah, and now it's kind of going sideways. Zooming out to the 5-year, it's kind of a downward trend. But on the 1 year, it's perhaps maybe it's opportunity to go long. So let's switch over. My video on the 21st, I drew these blue arrows to indicate that price will likely go upward on this small one here, hit this zone of resistance up here and get rejected. And sure enough, it did. You can see that. So it went up. I'm going to delete this so we can see it. Went up, hit this zone of resistance up here. Okay, like I had anticipated it would. And it then subsequently sold down here. Yesterday went down here. And look at this price action here. Let me zoom in. It's really interesting. Okay, this is a green candle, but you can barely see it. What happened was price opened up here and essentially slowed down the whole day. Okay, and ended here. Let's switch to the hourly to give you a little bit better view of the price action today. Fascinating, in fact. So today, okay, so this is the yesterday's close down here. Today, price opened up here. They bought it all the way up and then sold all the way down for the rest of the day. Okay. To me, that's a bearish signal because a doji candle like this, let's delete this. Today's green candle is just a long wick. What it shows is not a lot of bullish energy, right? The bulls didn't come in to buy it up. Now, one might say that this 2977 zone could be support. Yeah, I mean, that's a sound assessment. It could be support. But right now, um, I'm not convinced because if you go back, okay, we're going to look down here at the RSI. I made these little circles down here on the RSI to depict that there's bearishness. And in fact, to me, it remains bearish because with this red candle here that hit the resistance up at the top, this red candle here, price hit resistance here on this trend line resistance, and it's been 3 days of selling. Okay, I wouldn't count today as a day of bullishness. It was essentially selling. You can even see on the volume candle for today, it's smaller than the past few days. Okay, so the bulls had their opportunity to come in and buy it up, but they didn't. So for now, my thesis remains unchanged in that I see lower prices. I don't think this will be an entry for me. I'm not going to take this as an entry. In fact, I'm going to delete it. I think price will continue to fail and I look for an entry down here. It may hit the 200 day, it may bounce there, so I'm going to leave that green candle there, that green annotation there. But my preference is to take a long down here at around the 28, 25 area, price point. That would be a nice long, in my opinion. I'll just kind of draw it here. That's my preference. Okay, so for now, let's just wait. Don't get greedy for GDX. All right, let's switch over to Exxon Mobil. Exxon Mobil here. Whoops. You can see that in the yearly chart, the past few months have been quite bullish. Let's see if the momentum remains in place. Exxon Mobil here. Okay, so on the 21st, I said that price would come up and likely hit this resistance area, which I annotated in red, and sure enough, it hit it, and you can see what happened. It sold down. Oh, sorry, correction. It hit it, and just for today's price action, there's a small rejection up here. Okay, so price came up, wicked past the trend line resistance, and then they sold it down to the top of the resistance. Now the question is, are they going to um, manipulate the price tomorrow to gap up above the resistance and test this 117 price point? Because right here, down here on the RSI, I don't see any bearishness, in fact. Okay, the RSI is showing, let's see here. Whoops, apologize for that. RSI down here is just bullish. Okay, bullish down here. Let's go to green. Okay, so it's bullish. It's overbought, but not tremendously overbought. So I think what will happen is they will um, gap it up tomorrow above this trendline resistance, and over the next couple of days they're going to test 118. And in which case, down here on the RSI, it may begin to show some bearish divergence. Right now, it's just a bullish move. I'm not going to chase ExxonMobil. Switching to the weekly, I wanted to go long on ExxonMobil, but I missed the entry down here at the. I missed this entry. If you watched one of my old videos from a couple of days, about a week ago, I missed this entry, and I said, "Ah, it's too bad. I'm not going to chase it because it would have been a nice move all the way up here." Had I taken that entry, that's a 6% move. Hey, I would be happy with 6%, but I didn't get it, so let's just wait. I think ultimately it'll get rejected and come back, retest this somewhere down here. Time will tell, so let's wait and see. Okay, save. All right, let's switch over to Bitcoin. That's the last one here. Wow, right now it's 10 o'clock London time. It's at 70,000 again. Mm, you can see on the 1 year here, it's been up 150%. Let's see if there's still momentum for further price action. Upward. Now you can see my annotations here. This blue arrow was what I depicted on the 21st, and sure enough, it did it. Right? I said on the 21st, likely it will meet resistance up here, and then it would come down and retest this green support at 62,500 or so, right? And look what it did. Let me just zoom in. Let me move this for a second or delete it. You can see on this candle here, this red candle here, it wicked just underneath it. I mean, that's pretty good price predictions on my part. Okay, I'm just saying that if you are able to learn the skill of doing technical analysis, perhaps in the way in which I do it, then you might be able to take nice entries and exits so that you can protect your money and grow it. Anyway, my prediction was price would go downward. Sure enough, it did. And that this area down here would be support, right? Because I drew this green support line here, and that would go up. Now, what I didn't expect was I didn't expect it to bust through this red resistance line. And so that's significant considering that there's also some volume to back it up. So let's zoom out a little bit. Let's assess the situation. Let's clean up the chart a little bit. It's kind of messy. So we'll get rid of some of these annotations here. I make these annotations to make a point that when drawing trend lines, you have to look at the behavior of price along those trend lines to see if they support the thesis. And sure enough, they did in many of these cases. All right, so my view here is I see price, right, did this big move here, and then there's some fighting here, and then price then came back down, tested support down here, and now it's off to the races. So what's going to happen? I'm going to delete this out here. This red zone here is now going to be support. And because it's support, let's move it over a little bit here like that. Because it's support, price may come down and bounce off of it. Okay. The question then is how much more energy does it have? How far will it go? So let's switch over to the weekly, kind of get a feel. And when you switch over to the weekly, look what it did to these arrows. I'm going to delete them real quick so we can get a feel. So on the weekly view, all right, so on the weekly view, I can kind of see this line, this right here. I'm going to draw it right here. Okay, so what I just drew was a support, trendline support. Okay, and you can see it. There's a touch here. Actually, this is a good example of how to draw your trend lines. You can see here, bottom of this green candle, okay, hit this support line that I just drew. You can also see bottom of this green candle, that's support. And then look at the bottom of this wick, this red wick. That's another support. So that's three areas where price has hit this trend line and has validated that this is a legit trend line. So I think what's going to happen is price, from a weekly standpoint, is going to move sideways. Yeah. And it'll test this trend line to see if it'll test this black trend line to see if it's going to be support. Okay. So then let's zoom out to the daily to see where that trend line shows up. Okay, so it's there. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to put a alert here because I'm thinking that price will cross down below it. Let's have it close. Create that. So I think what's going to happen is for now, this 68,000 is support, right? That's where this green annotation is. That's support. At the same time, I think we have a zone of resistance up here. I'll just kind of draw it right there, okay, because that's the near-term high at 73,000. I think that will be some resistance. I'm going to annotate that as red here. And whoops. and then we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so for now, I think price will either come up, hit that, get rejected, and the question is it going to go down or is it going to go up afterwards? Um, my preference would be a break of this to go short using a proxy because that's where I think price will go next in their medium term for Bitcoin. Not in the next week, but maybe in the next couple of weeks, because I really think that it will test this area down here, this trend line here, okay, somewhere out in this zone. Okay, so zoom out so you can see, yeah, because look at this 200-day. The 200-day moving average is right here, and to me that's far from it. So from a percentage standpoint, from here to here, that's almost a 30% move, 25% move. Okay, from where it is up there down to the 200-day or to this trend line here, this trend line there. So, all right, let's make some deletions here. A little bit messy on the chart, but that's the daily. So we'll see what happens. I think for now, for the next couple of days, it'll come up and test 73, maybe even wick above it, and continue to make some bearish divergence down here. I think that's likely what will happen. It'll probably wick through it a little bit, make the bearish divergence down here, bearish case. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. As always, good luck with your trades. If you found my content useful, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching.